The reason you've hit a ceiling with your agency is not because you need more leads, it's not because you're in a wrong niche, and it's not because you lack that hidden system. It is because you don't know how to deliver great results for your clients. And that is what we're gonna talk about in this video. This is the third episode of the 5-part series where I'm gonna break down the exact blueprint I use to scale my agency business and how you can use it to scale your business up to $20,000 per month, and more importantly, do it in a way where you actually enjoy working on your business. Now let's think about a business like this. We have a bucket and we have a flow of water coming into the bucket. What this bucket represents is our business. And what this flow of water represents is our clients coming into the business. So we have clients coming into our business and we have our business. And why is it so important that we deliver great results for our clients? Because if we do not deliver great results for them, what will happen? They will leave our business. They will stop working with us. The water will leave our bucket. What does that mean? That means that if we do not deliver great results for people working with us, we have a bunch of holes in our business, and people are coming through those holes, escaping our business. And this is what's gonna happen. This is what 99% of agency owners miss. They have a bunch of holes in their bucket, which means a lot of their clients are leaving. They do not know how to deliver great results and retain their clients. But even though that's the case, none of them are focusing on fixing these holes, and nearly all of them are focusing on pouring more water into the bucket, getting more clients into their business. But it doesn't matter how many new clients we get because there's so much holes in our bucket and we will never be able to fill it up. And by the way, this is how my business looked like a couple of years ago, because I didn't know how to fix these holes. Or in other words, I had no clue how to deliver great results for my clients. And I didn't know how to do this one thing that I'm about to show you in this video. And that is a single thing that I ignored that has cost me thousands of dollars in refunds in my previous business. And I'm sure that majority of you watching right now are also ignoring it in your business without you even knowing it. Majority of agency owners in general think that delivering results for your clients only comes down to one thing. And that is, what do you do for them? And that is completely false. Delivering great results for your clients in your business only comes down to balancing the seesaw. Now, what the f does that mean? It means balancing between the promise and the delivery. This means balancing between promise or expectations that you set upon them and what you deliver. As long as this thing is balanced, as long as what you promise and what they expect is delivered, in their head, you delivered great results. And that is the only thing that matters, what happens in their head, not inside your head. As soon as this promise side goes above the delivery side, and promise is here and the delivery is here, promise or expectations are here and delivery is here, you're in a big problem. Because they will always expect to meet you at the same level, or for your delivery to be above their expectations. So your entire service delivery relies on the balance that you're trying to keep between these two things, between the promise or the expectations that you make and what you deliver. Ideal situation is that these two opposite poles of this seesaw are balanced, in perfect balance. Now, obviously, what you want to strive for is to have your delivery exceed promise or expectations. Or in other words, you want to strive that your experience that clients have in your business exceed the expectations they have. Because when experience exceeds expectations, that's when people do not leave and when they are satisfied. But ideal situation is that you have a perfect balance between what you promise, what they expect, and what they get. Now, crucial thing here, this does not mean that you under-promise and give some light promises that are very easy to fulfill, because it's going to be easier to deliver. Because if you under-promise, people will not buy. You need to figure out what is the promise that people are actually interested in, and then deliver and live up to that promise, to that expectation. One keynote here is that the bigger the promise is, the more it's gonna try to push this side, which means that in order to balance it, the harder the delivery will be. The next question is, how do we actually balance this thing? And there are 3 steps that are gonna allow you to balance that I'm gonna show you right now. First thing we need to do in order to balance the seesaw of delivering results is we need to define what those results are. We can never deliver something if we don't know what it even is. So this will mainly stem from the promise from your offer. So your promise will determine what are these results. That can be number of posted videos, it can be number of leads from content, it can be money made from content, it can be anything related to your offer. The key thing is that we actually have some sort of a baseline that we know if we hit, we can say, okay, we delivered results that we promised we're gonna get our clients. Now, I'm not saying that you need to have an exact number that you're gonna promise, like 34 leads or something like that, but have an estimate, approximately know what is the number that you're shooting for, something that's measurable so that we can measure it. Once we hit that baseline, we can say, okay, we delivered results that we promised we're gonna get them. Second step after we define results is we need to believe that we can actually deliver those results. We can do it in 2 ways. First one is realistically, and second way is hypothetically. Realistically means that we have already achieved defined results, either for ourselves or for someone else, which means we have belief by proof. We've already done it. We've proved that we're able to do it either for ourselves, which is the best way, and or for other people as well, so that we know we can do this. Second way is hypothetically. If you've never done what you're promising other people to achieve for them, which is possible, if you're just starting out, you've never done it for anyone, you need to hypothetically have a belief that you will be able to deliver those results. The way we do it is we use very simple if-then statements and come to conclusions that will lead us to believe that we can actually do this. Or in other words, if we do this, logically, this will happen, and if that happens, it will make this thing happen, which will ultimately make our defined result come true. So remember, by realistically, I mean by having belief by proof, and hypothetically, by using simple if-then conclusions. And third step is to actually do. So these are our 3 most important steps. We have defined the results, believe that we are actually able to deliver them, and then actually deliver them. $1,000,000 question. How do we actually go and deliver results for our clients? So first, we figure out what are the inputs that need to take place in order for results to happen. Now, these are the things like, what do you need to do? What do they need to do? What do you need to know about them? A lot of times it happens to me that I'm talking to someone and they're helping other people with content. And they say to me, well, in order for me to make great content for them, like they are the expert, they know why their offer is unique, they know all the things about what they do and how their specific mechanism and offer and product is unique. I don't know any of those things, so I cannot make content for them. Which is 100% true. Yes, they know their stuff better than you do, but you know how to take that stuff, take those things and make great content from that. And they don't know that. So what you want to do here is you want to make a list of questions that once answered, you will know all the things that you need to know about them in order to make great content for them. Now we know what are the inputs that we need to do in order to get people to results. We know all the things needed in order to make those inputs happen. What we want to do now is we want to ensure that we do what we need to do and our clients do what they need to do. The first step that we take in that process is called onboarding process. Onboarding process is process of getting people inside your business, process of getting people inside your service that happens after you made a sale. Now what happens after people buy something large, after they make a big investment. Whenever you invested in something big or spend a lot of money on something you really wanted, what happens? You're really excited about it. And it's exactly the same thing with services. So when people buy your service, when they invest in it, they're excited. So the main purpose of onboarding process is to reinforce the sale, to make them excited, to show to them that they made a good choice, and to leave a great first impression. The way onboarding process looks like in my agency is we have an onboarding call, which is usually about an hour long, that happens one day after we made a sale. And then on that call, we go in depth of all the things that our client needs to know in order to get results. So what we do is we set very clear deadlines and expectations, because all these people that we're working with, all of them function heavily and rely on clear deadlines and on speed. They love speed, they love things to happen fast. So what we do is right the next day, we hop on a call and we break down all the things that need to happen. So we put clear deadlines, we put clear expectations, we show them there what are the inputs that they need to do, what are the inputs that we will do in order to get them to results. We send them all the necessary content schedulers, content trackers, all the sheets that are needed. We show them on that call and we send them to them right after the call, so that as soon as onboarding process is finished, we can lock in and do the work, they can lock in and do the work, and everyone's happy. Great example of what a great onboarding process looks like in real physical life is when me and my friends were a couple of months ago in Dubai, and we were on a beach and we wanted to eat something, and we saw Chipotle and we were like, oh, let's try that. And when you get in, right at the door, there's a guy that opens the door for you. He's smiling, he's welcoming you inside. As soon as you get in, there are all the cashiers, all the people that are required to take your order and then get your payment. All of them are smiling, all of them are welcoming you. They're making a little song, waving, and everything is very streamlined. You just go in, he opens the door for you, you go in, you make an order, you pay, everyone's happy, everything's fast, everything's clean, and it's really good feeling, because as soon as they open the door, there's a great excited feeling that I'm meeting, and therefore I'm excited as well. The next thing that happens also on the onboarding process is setting expectations correctly. So as I said, nearly everything relies on the expectations that you will set in the sales process and in the onboarding process. What I mean by the expectations is set very clear deadlines for everything. The people that you work with, the people that you will usually help with content, are people who really rely on deadlines. They love deadlines because they have a clear date when something will get done. So set deadlines for everything. Don't leave anything a chance, and then make sure to actually meet those deadlines. The next thing after expectations, we have communication with our clients. Don't try to over-communicate and tell them every single detail that's happening, because people don't care. People only care that deadlines are met, expectations are met, things are happening and are being done in the set time frame that you set with expectations. What you want to communicate always are the things that you're doing and the things that you're changing. I'm gonna give you an example. If you're running a YouTube long-form offer where you're helping people with long-form content, and then, for example, you posted a video for your client and then you change the title and the thumbnail for their video, notify them about that. Tell them about that, because they don't know. They're not gonna notice it. And if they not notice it, it's exactly the same as if it didn't happen. So just make sure that the things that you're doing and the updates that you're making, you're communicating to them. Don't overdo it. If you're not sure how much they like to communicate and what are all the things they know, you can, on onboarding process, you can set expectations clearly and just ask them what is their preferred way of communicating. How much do they want to communicate? What are all the things that they want to know from you? And then later you know exactly what do they expect from you when it comes to communication. And the last thing that I want to cover when it comes to delivering clients results is you always want to take full responsibility over everything that's happening. Whether it's good or bad, whether you get them results or not get them results, you always need to take full and absolute responsibility for everything that's happening. For example, If your client is completely unsatisfied with the service and wants a refund, that is one of the best ways to learn what's wrong with your service. It may not be the most profitable one, but you will for sure know what are the holes in your bucket, what are the things that you need to fix in order to make your service better. You always want to self-reflect on your service and ask yourself in the entire process of that client who's asking for a refund. From the moment you made a sale, even on the sales call, what are the things that you promised them? From that point until they asked for a refund, what are all the things that happened? And what are all the little things that could have influenced them to go to that route and be dissatisfied and actually in the end ask for a refund? When I was running one of my previous offers about 2 years ago, I had this one client who was dissatisfied with my service and who was asking me for a refund. And I was very hesitant because I've never in my life before that moment gave anyone a refund. I didn't want to give him a refund because I did the service, but he was dissatisfied and was asking specifically for a refund. Even though I said, well, I can change the service, I can do it longer, whatever, he was specific and he was still asking me for a refund. And in the end, I gave him the refund, but I didn't turn bitter at that moment and became mad and started thinking in my head, well, he was expecting this and wanting this and it's his fault, it's not my fault. What I did is I reflected, I self-reflected and I self-analyzed. What are the things that went wrong and how do I ensure that this never ever happens again? And what I realized is that the main problem that happened along the way is that there was huge discrepancy between what was promised and what was delivered. It almost had nothing to do with how I delivered my service, how good it was. It has everything to do with what was promised, what was expected, and what was delivered in the end. And that's why balance for the CISO, the thing that I talked about a few minutes ago, is so important. Now, I changed the rule, and now in my business I have a simple rule. I have no guarantees and I have no refunds, ever. And the huge thing here is do not only take responsibility for bad things that happen, take responsibility as well for good things that happen. That means that when you deliver great results for your clients, don't tap yourself on the back and be like, yeah, I'm great, that's how to deliver results. Study that. Study what you did, study what happened, study what you promised, study what your client did, study what you did. Study. You need to study how to replicate that, because what you want to do is, if you deliver great results, the question that you want to ask yourself, how do I repeat this as many times as possible with as many clients as possible? Inversely, when you have someone ask you for a refund, you want to ask yourself, how do I make sure that this never happens again? But in either way, in either option, you want to take the full responsibility for everything that's happening in your business. And that is how you deliver great results for your clients. In the next episode, episode number 4, I'm going to show you how to make great content that will help you build your go-to brand and attract high-ticket clients from that content. So make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to not miss out on that. And if you want to cut straight to the chase and skip all these long episodes and have me help you transform your business, apply on the first link down below in the description, and I'm going to see if and how we can help you the best. That was it for today, and if it's God's will, I'll see you in the next video.